Ladies and gents, welcome to the first live stream that I'm having here tonight. I wanted to jump in here tonight and kind of digest the events of today. What a day. Really insane actions taken by the federal government in Ottawa today. So, I mean, how do we even begin here? Looking at some of the events of today. First of all, everyone, how's everyone doing in the chat? How are we this evening? I see there's, wow, a whole bunch of you in there already. Normally, I think what I'm going to do tonight is I'll take you guys through a little bit of what sort of the method to my madness is. So for those of you that don't know, I'm an automotive mechanic in British Columbia, and I wake up super early in the morning and I check the news. And I've had a YouTube channel for a long time, and I've always kind of kept my politics to myself on it. And this happened. This convoy happened, and I was like, nope, I can't stay quiet on this one. I can't stay quiet on this one. So I just put my hat in the ring, and then that was it. That was it. And now you guys all know who I am. For any of you guys that have been around for a while, you'll know a little bit more about me. But yeah, this is what I've been doing for the past few weeks, and getting hardly any sleep, and just doing what I can to get as much information about this out as possible. Just trying to do it in a way that's kind of digestible for people. So there is way too much out there. There is way too much information right now just available for everybody to take whichever way you want, right? So what I thought was I'd go out there and I try to filter through a bit of it, and filter through the best that I can in order to present it in a way that in my opinion seems true. And I mean, looking at the mainstream media is just, good Lord. I mean, there's liars, and then there's the mainstream media. You know what I mean? That's kind of most people, they don't trust lawyers. They don't trust used car salesmen and politicians. Well, mainstream media, I think they're right on the top of the list for that. Absolutely love your work. You're a hero. Thank you for your commitment. Man, all I know is that people started paying attention, and then that was my cue to not stop. If it's going somewhere and the message is getting out, then it's become a responsibility at that point, like a civic duty. You know what I mean? Sorry, I'm just trying to see what's happening in the chat as much as possible. I don't trust you, Clyde. Okay. You don't have to. I'm not asking people to trust me. I'm just giving my opinion on what's happening with the news. Trust is too much to ask nowadays, and I agree with that. I agree with that completely. Do you, beside the ones that got arrested, the people that organized the convoy went? I'm not sure. I haven't seen any public statements from the organizers of the convoy. So there's a lot of people that have claimed to be organizers. Yeah, ignore trolls. Yeah, of course. It's not my first day on the internet, so I'm kind of accustomed to this. Ignore the chat. Say what's on your mind. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that. Where was I? That's typically what happens. You get sidetracked. No, it's not my first rodeo. It's not my first day on the internet, so I know how this thing can go. Of course, I'm not used to this much attention. That's for sure. I'm not used to getting this much attention. But I kind of want to go through some of the events of today, and I'll take you guys through a bit of like my process for weeding through stuff. And don't get me wrong, thank you guys so much. so many people have been sending me stories. So many people have been sending me information. And, you know, a lot comes with that, right? A lot of stuff comes that in my opinion seems absolutely bogus. So and coming with all, like, you know, actual facts. I also know people on the ground in Ottawa and been in contact with some people. I know people that have traveled all the way out there to be there for this. And yeah, this is dear to my heart. This whole series of events. Keep it, Clyde. I love you, brother. Yeah, I love you too, brother. Let's get that add moderator status in there for Ruthless and King Cracker. Everybody say hello to Ruthless and King Cracker in the chat. They're my moderators, and they're gonna try to keep the trolls at bay as much as possible. I mean, there's not much you can do, really, in the grand scheme of things. But oh, Oz is here as well. There we go. Add moderator. There we go. Yeah, keep the chat clean, folks, as much as you can. But yeah, win stupid games, win stupid prizes. I don't know if that's how the expression goes, my man. It's play stupid games. But let's take a look at some of the stuff that I've been seeing today. And man, there's been a lot. But the main thing that a lot of people are talking about, and you guys are going to probably recognize this immediately. I'm going to get the headphones on for this so that you guys don't get a feedback, but this is a scene today that I saw, and I only saw this from a different angle. I saw this from an angle on Twitter. Sorry, I have all these tabs open. This is how I do things. Every day I just have tabs and tabs and tabs, and then I organize what I think can be good for putting a story together. Hopefully more people join the protest tomorrow than ever before. Thanks for all the work. Thank you, Unanimous Gamer. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. There are a lot of people that are stuck outside of Ottawa from what I'm experiencing, or the reports that I'm getting from on the ground, whether it's through social media or through the people that I know that are down there. There are a lot of people outside, and some people are reporting that they had to walk like an hour just to get down to where everything's going on. So there's a big delay between when the police started moving in and when people started actually showing up. Now, I think they did all the things that they did today to try to scare everybody from coming, because they know that it's going to be a big turnout this weekend. Nice coverage. Thank you, Zorn. Thank you. I'm doing what I can. I mean, I'm one guy with kids, a wife, a job, a full-time job, and I'm putting this stuff together and hopefully getting it right. You know, I do what I can. I do the best that I can. And, you know, like there was that one story the other week where a guy got it wrong, and he was blaming the tow truck drivers when the tow truck company apparently was tricked into making a tow. So I came out the very right after, actually that same afternoon. I got a message from the tow truck company themselves, and they asked me, could you please make a statement? Bob Lagai, thanks for standing up for freedom, telling the truth, Clyde. Thank you so much. Thanks for having my back, everybody. Honestly, like thanks for having my back on this, because it's not easy to stick your neck out like that. And I understand why a lot of people don't, but I don't know. I kind of felt that compulsion to just get out there and say something, because you gotta. I don't know. I've always had this thing where, like, I remember watching documentaries about the Second World War and saying, well, why didn't they do anything about that bad guy? And it was always, well, they didn't really know at the time. And well, it's kind of looking that way right now. So why aren't we doing things about that bad guy? You know? Why not? So let's look at some of the things that happened today. So this was one thing in particular. It caught my attention on my Twitter feed, and I think I tweeted out about it. I did. So, and this is what I had said on Twitter as they popped through with the horses. And this is just the angle that I saw, and I wasn't aware what the whole situation was at the time. So I straight up, my first inkling was, oh, the horses are just for the fanfare, trying to get their shot for the CBC. The real story is that despite all the attempts by the police, the protesters remain peaceful. And you know what? I really got to hand it to these guys. To get shoved around like that, to have your fuel taken from you, your source of heat, wood, like all this stuff that happened, and nope, okay, we'll comply. You know, we'll just comply, and we're not going to be violent. You know, a lot of it takes a lot. It takes a lot to hold your composure when you're being pushed that hard. Now, that was the scene that I saw, and I wasn't aware of the full gravity of the situation. But there was another scene. There was a scene from another angle. Now, what you're seeing in the situation, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not a police agent, I'm not a military guy, I'm a mechanic. I pull wrenches, but I look for logical, like I look for logical reasons why people are doing things, right? So these police officers are doing something, and they wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't intentional, right? The idea that there's a line of officers and then there's the protesters in front, to push those horses in, is what I think their thoughts behind this would be to create a gap where the officers could quickly rush in. And that's precisely what they're doing here, right? So the horses come in with the hopes that the protesters, who aren't doing anything wrong, will retreat. And then you see the police move in immediately behind, and very aggressively. And from other angles here, you can actually, oh, that's quite loud, sorry. So from this other angle, you can see that immediately the police, they don't come in and just fill the space. They come in and immediately start attacking. So this is the act of aggression here. This is the act of aggression. They're pushing the protesters back with horses. And then the police are coming in, not just putting their bodies in the way, but actually pushing, punching, and hitting, right? And despite this, the protesters still did not fight back. No deaths reported at the time. Everyone, I have fact checked. So Ruthless is fact checking. Says no deaths reported at this point. Now that's the same angle again here. Now what we have here is another angle where we have an elderly lady who'd been knocked over and another woman who had been trampled on. So this you can't see from these other angles. But this is the police moving in and using this tactic. Now I would say I'd like to know a little bit more about this tactic and its use. And because it clearly seems like a dangerous tactic in a crowd situation. It doesn't seem like a tactic that would have lawful use. And we've had this discussion in recent history because of other tactics that police have used. The George Floyd situation was one in particular, where tactics were used that ended up leading to a guy suffocating. Ironic how enacting the Emergencies Act has made it too dangerous for them to vote on the Emergencies Act today. I'm going to get into that. Thank you so much. How do you say that? Mugskins. Thank you so much. I'm losing my voice because I'm talking so much about this today. Holy cow. I just, my anxiety's been through the roof because I'm like, I've been doing nothing but listening to live streams and watching them simultaneous, all day long. But I'd like to know about the legalities of this tactic, whether it's been tested, whether it's been because obviously they brought in a new chief of police. From what I can see, she's still in the hospital. Okay, so she's still in the hospital, but my God, poor woman. So tactics deployed. Clearly. Now, anyway, that's my take on this. Is who authorized this tactic? We have a new chief of police in Ottawa because the other guy was not keen on breaking the law. So they brought in someone who was keen. Oz saying a little bit of these nuts to tighten the mood some. To lighten the mood, sorry. Thank you, Oz. The Emergency Act permits for this kind of police action. Legality doesn't matter. No, I don't believe that's true. I don't believe that's accurate. The Emergencies Act gives them extra powers, but I don't think their extra powers include savage beatings. So with livestock. I mean, you could quote me on that and tell me if I'm wrong later. Please do. But Sabby, everyone raise your hands in the air and send the truckers and protesters your energy. They need, Genki Dama. They're pulling the Japanese out. Nice, thank you. They need Genki Dama to defeat Trudeau and his cohorts. Yes, Genki Dama for sure. This. Thank you for adding the Japanese in there. Cassidy McKay, thank you for your coverage, Clyde. I'm praying for my homeland from the U.S. God bless you all. Freedom. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's unbelievable the events that have been unfolding. But nonetheless, this whole thing has been bringing everyone together. I mean, there are a lot of shitheads on the internet that just really love spitting their vitriol. And you'll have your media types and you have your just unreasonable people. But I've never seen so many people that disagree come together like this. I've never seen so many people that disagree come together like this. This is something that I mean, you look online and you look at the coverage and you can see guys all the way from Russell Brand to I don't know, I don't watch Alex Jones, but I'm sure you know what I mean? All the way. You got Steven Crowder to Russell Brand, basically. That's it's unbelievable. It's bringing all these people together. I mean, Trudeau in the past 2 weeks has done more to bring our country together than any prime minister in recent times. I'll tell you that. Thanks for the coverage, Clyde, from us at Free Atlantis. Do the convoy have a possible plan to reoccupy Ottawa? I'm thinking that might just happen. Well, so here's the deal, right? If they got rid of the protests, they would have to keep the city on lockdown to keep people out. Is that what Ottawans are ready for? And that's the real question. So you get your little police action out. You get your police action out. You have your day in the sun. You get to beat up a bunch of people that are innocent, that are just simply protesting a mandate. I mean, we're talking about people who have a disagreement in policy, right? You have your day out in the sun. You beat up a bunch of people. You've angered a lot of people in the country. And what does that do? What does that do? It's just going to get more people at your doorstep. That's exactly what's going to happen. So there's just going to be more people in Ottawa week after week after week. I mean, this is awakened something I've never seen in Canada before. And I've lived here my entire life, minus 3 years that I lived in Tokyo, and I love Tokyo, and it's definitely my second home. This is how it works. It's the site of violence against the non-violence that changes minds. That's right. That's right. If that's I've been saying this all along. If the truckers came in and swinging, none of this would have happened. But that's not the case. They've come in with nothing but love, compassion. I mean, the biggest complaint from the mayor of Ottawa was the bouncy castle. He just wouldn't let that go. The bouncy castle was the thing that drove him nuts the absolute most. This is appalling. I donated to Give, Send, Go. Will they give that money? Dox me, Trudeau. Go for it. Thanks for sharing this, Clyde. What's the next step for the people? So I'm not an organizer for this. And I want that to be clear. As much as I'm behind this, I'm lending my support to these guys. I'm not an organizer. So I'm not calling any shots. What I am doing is I'm bringing the story to the people. And yes, I have contacts, and I'm gonna tell their story. And just like any other journalist would, right? Any journalist would have their contacts, and that's it. They're telling a story. I wrote to NDP MP saying, if I see them vote for the ER Act, I'll never vote NDP for life. Liberals, close cause, many future lawsuits coming. End of politicians' career soon. Thank you, Clyde. Yeah, there's a lot of career politicians. I mean, I'm against the idea of a career politician anyway. We seem to have this and it was a very American thing. Sorry to my American friends, but this has been a thing that kind of we got from you guys, this career politician thing. And it's basically, you get these hacks that get into government, and that's their job. And when they don't get elected, they're still there. They're still there. They end up working for lobby groups, or they end up becoming bureaucrats in the system until the next election cycle. And basically, we've got a system of, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. And that's gotta end. We gotta stop this, because it's basically just a bunch of crooks that don't really have our interests in mind. And that is very apparent with what we're seeing on the ground today. What do we have here? I'm Prior LEO and recently got my blue line tattoo after I saw on lives today. Makes me ashamed. After what I saw on lives today. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what an LEO is. But blue line tattoo, I'm guessing you're law enforcement. There are a lot of law enforcement people that are coming out saying they don't agree with what's going on. In fact, there's a story that I was hearing on a lot of the lives that there's an officer that crossed the line today and started taking his gear off and joining the protesters, got pulled back and arrested. I don't know how true that is, but that's just what I heard during the lives. Been getting updates from Give Send Go. They gave some money to the truckers. The rest locked up in a USA account. They're also taking legal action. I can understand that. I seen a toy piano with a multimeter on top. I'm endlessly curious. Yeah, you are. I'm sorry. The super chats are coming in is super fast, so like I'm gonna try to keep up on them. If I miss any, I'm so sorry, guys. USA, thanks for your coverage. Oh, perfect. Thank you so much, Susan. Yeah, the the toy piano with the multimeter. Yeah, it's funny. So I found that at a thrift store, and it's a fantastic little toy piano, and I got it for my kids. And I want to fix it up. It's not broken, but I want to fix it up, so it's really nice. And I do a lot of electronics and stuff as a hobby, but I'm a mechanic by trade, so I always have like multimeters and tools and stuff hanging around. I'm surprised nobody says like, "Ooh, you must be limber with all the yoga stuff." I was waiting for comments for that, but no, none of that. No, I'm a mechanic. I got a sore back. I got to stretch. It happens when you start getting older. And humility. Humility is something you definitely need to have a lot of. What do we have here? I used to work for Toronto Police and Ottawa Police. If you have questions about tactics, I can help. Those horses belong to Toronto Police. Hey, Chris Morris, could you click the link? Do you use Discord? Jump in our Discord server. I would love to speak to you about that. Let me know, and yeah, let's have that conversation, because I would like to know about tactics being used, because I really want to let people know the truth of what the reality is of the situation, the gravity of it, and whether or not the police are using lawful tactics. When I saw horses trampling on people, my first instinct was, is that legal? Is that legal? Is that legal for them to attempt to use that? Osmodius says, I'm pro-vaccine, and I do believe mandates have their place, but mandates need to be well thought out, and the public really needs to be more involved to really understand how people are affected. You can't just force things. No, you can't just force things. But the thing is, if you had that dialogue, you wouldn't need a mandate anyway. And that's kind of the consensus here. So, I mean, I'm fully for people's bodily autonomy. Talk to your physician. Talk to your physician. Talk to a professional. I mean, I'm a mechanic. Come to me for mechanical advice. Go to a doctor for advice about any elective procedure that you want to take. But that's definitely something for between you and your physician, not you and a one-size-fits-all politician. So, I mean, that's my opinion on that. Elderly woman. Oh, that's a troll. Roberta Paulson. Yeah. I do like the reference, though. Fight Club's one of my favorite movies. Oh, boy. But yes, I'd love to have that conversation about tactics. Please jump in the Discord, and let's have that conversation. Hopefully you use Discord. But I think we should get on to some other things. So this morning, this was Andrew Scheer. If you haven't been paying attention to politics, and I haven't been paying attention to keeping myself slept. If you haven't been paying attention to politics in a minute, this is Andrew Scheer. He ran for prime minister in the last election cycle for the Conservative Party. I donated as well. Bank was not too happy when I took my money out of Canada Trust. That Trudeau. Oh, can't trust that Trudeau after you pulled all your money out. Yeah, they're never happy when you pull your money out of the bank. That's incredible. But well, you know what? People are still giving to Give Send Go. Here's the donation page right now. I can hit a refresh here. It's at $9.67 million US. I mean, people are still donating to this. Now, I can't advocate Canadian citizens donating to this because of the situation that we're all aware of. I can't advocate that. Now, people are still donating to it. People after the hack and the leaks have been harassed. Not only that, I don't know if you guys saw the coverage that I did, but the people were being approached, emailed by CBC, and apparently from Viva Frei was reporting on this, but some other agencies were emailing individuals and asking for confirmation. Now, someone brought this to my attention immediately, and I was lucky because I had so many messages. I managed to catch that one, and they said, "Oh yeah, CBC's phishing for information. I don't know if they're doing it for the government or just for the story." And I said, "Do you have any receipts?" And they sent me an image of the email. So in that, I redacted the name because sometimes when you're running an intelligence operation, you can zero in leaked information based on markers. Like if you used a different name every time you sent out an email, or every batch of 100 you send out, you use this name and then you move on. So I didn't want to tip off to any authorities who it was who was leaking the information to me, because they wanted to remain anonymous. But I found that quite scummy. But yeah, it seemed like a phishing attempt to give up that information. If not, then just scummy journalism as a whole. Like just scummy. Apparently some of the messages that Viva Frei was talking about was that they were saying, "Oh, are you afraid of losing your job over this?" Yeah, it's just it's like the old mafioso guy, right? It's that guy that shows up at your door and he says, "Hey, you got a nice house made out of dry wood. It'd be a real shame if fire rolled through this neighborhood. Anyway, we're taking donations." And these are the tactics. These are the tactics that some people use. What else did I want to get into today? Yeah, Andrew Scheer. So Andrew Scheer says this. I mean, take everything that these politicians say with a grain of salt. I'm not advocating for any particular party, and I want to keep that clear. I hope that people vote their conscience. They vote their heart. Vote where you want to put your vote. I don't want to influence other people's votes. So by showing this, I'm not advocating for the Conservative Party. I'm just saying, and I would like to say, take with a grain of salt that these guys are all playing politics right now, and they're all trying to save their ass, because this looks really bad, all of it. So this is what he had to say this morning before everything went down.
So Parliament has been suspended. just a couple of days after Justin Trudeau embarked upon a massive power grab, invoking the Emergency Measures Act for the first time in Canadian history, giving him and his government unprecedented power. Parliament gets shut down. Right now, it's shortly after 11 o'clock. This is about the time of day when members of Parliament start questioning the government. This is about the time when question period starts on a Friday. And of course, this week, opposition MPs would be asking the government questions about the legitimacy of the use of the Emergency Measures Act. In order for that act to be justified, very high legal thresholds have to be met. And we would be grilling the Prime Minister and his ministers responsible for invoking that act literally as we speak. But instead, we're actually not allowed in the chamber. The order went out earlier today saying that the House of Commons was having today's session canceled. This is unbelievable. At the very moment when Trudeau and his government is grabbing extraordinary power, the power to...
Okay, before he keeps going on, what I want to say is incredible about this in particular is we've had 2 years of the virus that everyone's afraid of, and the members of Parliament, they all used not Skype, Zoom. The dumbest thing to do, using Zoom. Use a more secure app, would you? Anyway, they all use Zoom. Why couldn't they use Zoom today? No, this is just a game. This is a game to them. And my opinion on the matter is they were hoping that the police coming in were going to cause the protesters to turn violent. And guess what? It didn't work. It didn't work. They didn't take the bait. They didn't buy into it. So now you do have to sit down and talk about this. And I don't want to hear this that, oh, they get another day. Because the rule is, and this is how it works, right? They have 7 sitting days to table the Emergencies Act. They have 7 days. And if they don't table it within 7 days, it expires. So, and this is 7 sitting days. So that if they did it on which day was it? I was thinking that Monday would be the last day, but apparently 7 sitting days. But what I'm thinking is that they're going to try to extend it one more day. Oh, we didn't sit down on Friday. SOL. If I don't show up for work on Friday, I don't get a paycheck. They don't add that to my pay. It's not the way things work. Yeah, greasy move. Thank you very much. That is a greasy move. So you don't get another day. You don't get another day. Let this expire. Let it expire. And well, worse than I want to see it voted down. I want to see it voted down. Because at least then we can have a vote and know who exactly votes for it. Because we'll find out who exactly voted for it. And that's when we make phone calls. That's when we start making phone calls. And that's, you know, I'm not saying threaten people. Please, whatever you do, don't do that. Absolutely don't do that. But you can advocate. You can advocate for people not to vote for that. You can go to their constituents and you can say, listen, this person voted for the Emergencies Power Act against peaceful protesters in Ottawa. So, I mean, that's just my 2 cents. I'm going to let him keep talking.
Freeze someone's bank account. The power to stop people from moving around in downtown Ottawa. The ability for the police to compel other people to assist them in dealing with the protests. These are extraordinary powers that have never been granted before in Canadian history under this piece of legislation. And instead of being able to grill the government, to ask questions, to expose the hypocrisy of Trudeau and his cabinet, the House of Commons sitting has been suspended. This is unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. This has been a very difficult 2 years. And this isn't the first time that Trudeau has tried to give himself powers unchecked by Canada's parliamentary democracy. Remember, in the first few days of the COVID-19 pandemic, in those early days when a lot was unknown about the virus, Justin Trudeau's first attempt at emergency legislation 2 years ago was to completely sideline Parliament. He tried to give himself the power to tax and spend without any kind of parliamentary oversight.
Whatever he did, tax and spend, you did approve though, and it was way more than ever. So this was a tweet that I saw Jordan Peterson put out a few days ago, and it says a telling email from a correspondent referencing Wikipedia. Even the pandemic itself did not constitute a crisis severe enough to warrant martial law. I just wanted to bring to your attention, I think this is to Jordan Peterson, I just wanted to bring to your attention the fact that COVID-19 pandemic itself was rejected by the premiers as not being sufficient enough to enact the Emergencies Act. Dumbfounding. And then here's the Wikipedia entry. Proposed in response to COVID-19 pandemic. Further information, COVID-19 pandemic Canada. On April 9th, 2020, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau sent a letter to the provincial and territorial premiers to consult about invoking the Emergencies Act due to the COVID-19 pandemic. While consultation with the provinces is a required step before the act can be triggered, the Prime Minister's office said there was no present plan to invoke it, and doing so remained a last resort. So it's like, he got the job and his first thought was, what can I do? What can I do? Right? It's, yeah. What do you do? What do you do when your nation's been asleep and this is what came in? You know what I mean? Your nation's been asleep and they accidentally did this. My favorite quote of the week though was a woman at the protest said, "I used to be woke and now I'm awake." I loved that because I was just reminded myself of Justin Trudeau when he first got in. He was announcing his cabinet ministers, and they asked him, "Why did you choose these people?" He thought that they were asking the question, "Why did you choose a group, the people because of their skin colors and genders and stuff?" And they were asking basically, "Why did you choose them? Are they qualified?" And his answer was, "Because it's 2015, current year." I love that answer. Because current year. It's, yeah, just unreal. Wow, a lot of you guys jumping on Twitter to give me a follow. Thanks, appreciate it. Yeah, so I don't have a lot of time this evening because I need to. I'm a family man, so I got to take care of my kids. I got to take care of my beautiful wife, and I have to do what I can to find some stories to talk about for tomorrow morning. And I really, really appreciate you guys coming in to hang out with me for a few minutes while I just try to gather my thoughts and digest the events of today. I'm available a lot on my Discord. It's my favorite social media, Discord. Twitter is a cesspool. I wade through it for you guys so you don't necessarily have to. Respectfully, If you're looking for a fight, you're gonna get booted from the Discord immediately. We've got good mods there, so don't bother. But like, if you want to hang out and you want to have really active, good conversations with really good people, come join. I'd like to have these conversations. If you have information, please post it there. If you have tips or stories that you want to be brought to attention, please post them there. Other than that, you can my usual use Twitter, or people have been sending me direct messages on Instagram. I really appreciate everything that you guys have been doing, putting things out there, just putting it out there. You guys' response is what the YouTube algorithm was like. Wow, these guys people are liking this, and they pushed it out. And that's how we get more information out there. You guys are great with commenting on all the videos, hitting that like button, sharing to social media. It's been fantastic. You guys are great. You guys are fantastic. Can you look into whether there's a bank run going on? Major banks were closed. Lots of people are saying they're pulling out their cash. Now, be careful about advocating for a bank run, because it's a bit like yelling fire in a crowded theater. There are very few limits to free speech, and not anymore in Canada, but traditionally, and advocating bank runs is one of those. Yeah, don't be careful about that. But I have heard grumblings of it. I've heard people threatening it, and I don't know. We'll see what people end up doing. What I'd like to see is just more peaceful assembly. When the government says you can't assemble, assert your right to do so. Freedom of association, the right to assemble. Let your voice be heard. And I think it's just so amazing, all you guys that are doing it. Not advocating, have family I worry about. Now, I'll fill you in on a little thing here that I am aware of. So if there was a run on a bank, it really just screws over the depositors, and that's a fact. So the bank's gonna get bailed out. The top brass is gonna get all their stuff out first. Everyone else on the bottom will lose all their savings, and then CDIC, the Canadian Depositors Insurance Corporation, will come in and give you a check for $5,000. That's how that works. So the CDIC covers you for $5,000 per bank account. So if there was a run on the banks, it's not going to help the average person. It's only gonna cause trouble with the institution. Then they'll get bailed out anyway. That's my opinion on that anyway. But much love to all of you guys out there. Hopefully we can do more of these powwows. I'm thinking maybe I'll make this like a weekend thing. Maybe I'll make a Friday thing. Let's just talk about the this week in events, and I'm gonna keep these videos going. I'll try to pop out as many as I can before I go to work in the morning. God bless you all. God bless Canada. God bless America. God bless the free world and free loving people. I honestly believe that. Torknut, thank you so much for coming out, man. Thank you so much for coming out. And thank all of you. Thank all of you for coming out. We'll see you in the next video. That'll be tomorrow morning. It's a Saturday, so I'm gonna be sleeping in a little bit, so don't expect it at 6 in the morning. But I'll get a video out at least for tomorrow, and you can look forward to more all week, because I'm not stopping. Love you guys.